There is a window I keep coming back to when the afternoon has nowhere left to go. The glass holds everything the street is doing and frames it in a particular glow. The window I keep coming back to holds the ordinary like a gift, and every time I stand beside it watching, something in the watching starts to lift. The people passing never know I see them, each one a momentary constellation, and something in the watching without knowing becomes its own complete and quiet station. I still return to that particular window, the lamp behind me and the world outside, because the window I keep coming back to is where the day and I both come to abide. I used to think the detours were the problem, the wrong turns and the roads that went nowhere. But standing here I see them differently. Each one was taking me with particular care. Every road led here to this exact moment. Every wrong direction found the right, and all the years I spent arriving somewhere were only ever practice for tonight. The version of me standing at the beginning had no idea what the journey would require, but every mile remade me into someone ready for exactly what I now desire. The long way round was never wasted. It only made the arriving sweeter. Every road I thought was wrong just made the right one clearer. Was the only road that could have found the way. Something the light does in the late afternoon makes the ordinary room feel like a painting. The dust is suspended and the shadows lengthened, and everything becomes worth contemplating. And in that particular golden hour, the whole world holds its breath a little. Something the light does finds me every Sunday, reminds me that the beautiful is near, not waiting in the extraordinary places, but right here in this ordinary here. Teacup on the sill already cooling, and I forget whatever I was planning, because the light has done its gentle schooling. And something in the quality of that surrender teaches me exactly what I need. Something the light does keeps on finding me in every unremarkable afternoon, and I have learned to stop and let it happen before the light moves on and leaves too soon. Home is not always four walls and a ceiling. Sometimes it arrives inside a sound, the particular creak, the kettle, the familiar, the small and unremarkable surround. The sound of home is everywhere I carry it, in memory and in the present both. And every time I hear it in the ordinary, it wraps around me like a welcome oath. A song, a voice, the rain against a specific window, each one a signal that the heart is near. And suddenly, wherever I am standing, the sound of home arrives to meet me here. I never knew that home was something portable, that I could carry it inside morning knows something the night forgot to mention. It arrives without apology or doubt, and everything the darkness held in question, the morning simply opens and lets out. What morning knows is that the day is possible, that everything the night withheld returns, and all the heavy things the dark was carrying are lighter in the light the morning earns. I used to dread the space between the sleeping, that uncertain territory before the dawn. But morning always came without my asking, and proved that what I feared was already gone. I still trust morning more than any promise, more than any reassurance or design, because what morning knows, it demonstrates completely. It makes the impossible feel perfectly fine. There is a particular blue the sky turns just before the day has fully committed, between the night releasing and the morning, before the ordinary has been admitted. The particular blue that nobody names exactly arrives each morning whether or not I watch, and I have made a practice of being present for that unrepeatable and particular notch. You have to be awake before the world is, before the sounds of living fill the air, and in that narrow window of the in-between, the particular blue is briefly there. I never told anyone I watched for it. It felt too small a thing to mention, but the particular blue of early morning became my own and private intervention. The particular blue is there again this morning, unremarkable to everyone but me, and I stand the particular blues I didn't miss to see. There are evenings when nothing needs to happen, when the air itself is quiet enough to hold, and the simple fact of being without agenda is the richest thing the evening has to fold. And something in the nothing of the evening turns out to be everything I need. When nothing needs to happen, I am richest. The empty evening opens like a door, and everything I thought I had been missing was waiting in the nothing all before. The to-do list loses its urgency at sunset. The things undone sit quietly aside, and what remains when obligation exits is something very close to satisfied. And all the evenings spent pursuing something, we're practicing for this particular ease. When nothing needs to happen and I let it, the evening gives me more than plans could give. And I have learned that nothing needing happening is one of the more beautiful ways to live. Not everyone who entered stayed for chapters. Some were only passing through a page, but the ones who stayed through every kind of weather have earned a different kind of regard and wage. The ones who stayed are worth more than the many who arrived with brightness and then left. 'Cause staying through the ordinary middle requires a love that doesn't need to be the best. I used to count the ones who didn't linger as losses that the ledger needed noting, but I have learned to count the ones remaining and find the sum is more than worth the quoting. The ones who stayed don't always know their value, don't always see what staying chose to share instead of being free. The ones who stayed are who I call my people. The ones whose presence I have learned to trust. And every ordinary day they chose to stay has built a love I know will never rust. There is a place the heart returns without deciding. Not a location, but a quality of light. A feeling more than somewhere on a map that finds me in the middle of the night. A place the heart returns to without asking. Is the realest home that any of us know. And every time I find myself back inside it, I understand exactly where to go. Sometimes it arrives inside a melody, or in the way a certain afternoon descends. And suddenly the place the heart returns to opens up the way the season ends and bends. I still trust the place the heart returns to more than any destination that I plan. Because the place the heart returns to without asking always knows exactly where I am. Nobody writes the songs about the Tuesday, the unremarkable, inadequate, and plain. But I have found that Tuesday holds a treasure that the spectacular could never quite contain. The gift of an ordinary life is everything. The coffee and the window and the slow. And I have spent too long pursuing remarkable when ordinary was the place to go. Of the daily and the simple and the fine. I used to think that ordinary man invisible, that small man unimportant and unseen. But now I know the ordinary is the whole of it, and everything has ever been. The gift of an ordinary life keeps giving in ways that no extraordinary could. And I receive it now with open and grateful hands, knowing ordinary is more than good. Before I learned to rush through every morning, I used to watch the light move through the room. I used to let the tea cool without noticing, and trust the day to find its own right bloom. And something in that unhurried beginning made the whole day softer and more true. Before I learned to rush, I knew the morning. Before the lists arrived and stole the hour. And something in that earlier and slower version had a particular and ungrasped power. I am relearning how to move without agenda, how to let the morning be itself before the day requires anything of anyone, before I take productivity off the shelf. And every unremarkable and slow beginning is its own complete and sufficient gift. Before I learned to rush was when I lived most, in every ordinary overlooked detail. And I am finding my way back to that slower morning, where the whole day waits behind a softer veil. The faces and the places rearrange themselves. The seasons turn without consulting anyone. And everything I thought was fixed and permanent is quietly becoming something else or gone. What stays when everything changes is the essential. The love that doesn't need the world to hold. And everything the years have taken with them left something more important to be told. I used to grip the changing with resistance, convinced that holding on could slow the tide. But everything that left made room for something that only comes when you release and let it guide. What stays is not the furniture or the faces, not the particular version of the street. What stays is how the love felt in the middle, and that is quite enough and quite complete. When everything changes is what matters. The warmth inside the ordinary day. And I have learned to trust the things that stay, because they are the things that always stay. At the end of everything, the long exhale arrives, the one that all the held breath has been building. And something in the releasing feels like landing, like the final piece of something finally filling. The long exhale is what the whole day earns, the moment when the effort meets its rest, and everything that asked for more than I had ready reveals itself as something I could best. I used to think that resting was a forfeit, that stopping meant the work had won the day. But the long exhale is where the clarity lies, and everything confused becomes okay. I still arrive at the long exhale with gratitude for every difficult and necessary mile, because the long exhale at the end of everything makes every challenging part worthwhile. There is a window I keep coming back to when the afternoon has nowhere left to go. The glass holds everything the street is doing and frames it in a particular glow. The window I keep coming back to holds the ordinary like a gift, and every time I stand beside it watching, something in the watching starts to lift. The people passing never know I see them, each one a momentary constellation, and something in the watching without knowing becomes its own complete and quiet station. I still return to that particular window, the lamp behind me and the world outside, because the window I keep coming back to is where the day and I both come to abide. I used to think that detours were the problem, the wrong turns and the roads that went nowhere. But standing here I see them differently. Each one was taking me with particular care. Every road led here to this exact moment. Every wrong direction found the right. And all the years I spent arriving somewhere were only ever practice for tonight. The version of me standing at the beginning had no idea what the journey would require. But every mile remade me into someone ready for exactly what I now desire. The long way round was never wasted. It only made the arrival only road that could have found the way. Something the light does in the late afternoon makes the ordinary room feel like a painting. The dust is suspended and the shadows lengthened, and everything becomes worth contemplating. And in that particular golden hour, the whole world holds its breath a little. Something the light does finds me every Sunday, reminds me that the beautiful is near, not waiting in the extraordinary places, but right here in this ordinary here. Up on the sill already cooling, and I forget whatever I was planning, because the light has done its gentle schooling, and something in the quality of that surrender teaches me exactly what I need. Something the light does keeps on finding me in every unremarkable afternoon, and I have learned to stop and let it happen before the light moves on and leaves too soon. Home is not always four walls and a ceiling. Sometimes it arrives inside a sound. The particular creak, the kettle, the familiar, the small and unremarkable surround. The sound of home is everywhere I carry it, in memory and in the present both. And every time I hear it in the ordinary, it wraps around me like a welcome oath. A song, a voice, the rain against a specific window, each one a signal that the heart is near. And suddenly, wherever I am standing, the sound of home arrives to meet me here. I never knew that home was something portable that I could carry The sound of home is not a place I left behind. It lives inside the sounds that I have known. And every time I hear it in the unexpected, I understand I'm never far from home. Morning knows something the night forgot to mention. It arrives without apology or doubt, and everything the darkness held in question, the morning simply opens and lets out. What morning knows is that the day is possible, that everything the night withheld returns, and all the heavy things the dark was carrying are lighter in the light the morning earns. I used to dread the space between the sleeping, that uncertain territory before the dawn. But morning always came without my asking, and proved that what I feared was already gone. I still trust morning more than any promise, more than any reassurance or design, because what morning knows, it demonstrates completely and makes the impossible feel perfectly fine. There is a particular blue the sky turns just before the day has fully committed, between the night releasing and the morning, before the ordinary has been admitted. The particular blue that nobody names exactly arrives each morning whether or not I watch, and I have made a practice of being present for that unrepeatable and particular notch. You have to be awake before the world is, before the sounds of living fill the air, and in that narrow window of the in-between, the particular blue is briefly there. I never told anyone I watched for it. It felt too small, a thing to mention, but the particular blue of early morning became my own. private intervention. Particular blue is there again this morning, unremarkable to everyone but me. And I stand at the window being grateful for all the particular blues I didn't miss to see. There are evenings when nothing needs to happen, when the air itself is quiet enough to hold, and the simple fact of being without agenda is the richest thing the evening has to fold. And something in the nothing of the evening turns out to be everything I need. When nothing needs to happen, I am richest. The empty evening opens like a door, and everything I thought I had been missing was waiting in the nothing all before. The to-do list loses its urgency at sunset. The things undone sit quietly aside, and what remains when obligation exits is something very close to satisfied. And all the evenings spent pursuing something, we're practicing for this particular ease, when nothing needs to happen and I let it. The evening gives me more than plans could give, and I have learned that nothing needing happening is one of the more beautiful ways to live. Not everyone who entered stayed for chapters. Some were only passing through a page, but the ones who stayed through every kind of weather have earned a different kind of regard and wage. The ones who stayed are worth more than the many who arrived with brightness and then left. 'Cause staying through requires a love that doesn't need to be the best. I used to count the ones who didn't linger as losses that the ledger needed noting. But I have learned to count the ones remaining and find the sum is more than worth the quoting. The ones who stayed don't always know their value, don't always see what staying means to me. But I am counting every single chapter that they chose to share instead of being free. The ones who stayed are who I call my people. The ones whose presence I have learned to trust. And every ordinary day they chose to stay has built a love I know will never rust. There is a place the heart returns without deciding. Not a location, but a quality of light. A feeling more than somewhere on a map that finds me in the middle of the night. A place the heart returns to without asking. Is the realest home that any of us know. And every time I find myself back inside it, I understand exactly where to go. Sometimes it arrives inside a melody, or in the way a certain afternoon descends. And suddenly the place the heart returns to opens up the way the seasonings and bends. I still trust the place the heart returns to more than any destination that I plan. Because the place the heart returns to without asking always knows exactly where I am. Nobody writes the songs about the Tuesday, the unremarkable, inadequate, and plain. But I have found that Tuesday holds a treasure that the spectacular could never quite contain. The gift of an ordinary life is everything. The coffee and the window and the slow. And I have spent too long pursuing remarkable when ordinary was the place to go. Of the daily and the simple and the fine. I used to think that ordinary man invisible, that small man unimportant and unseen. But now I know the ordinary is the whole of it, and everything has ever been. The gift of an ordinary life keeps giving in ways that no extraordinary could. And I receive it now with open and grateful hands, knowing ordinary is more than good. Before I learned to rush through every morning, I used to watch the light move through the room. I used to let the tea cool without noticing, and trust the day to find its own right bloom. And something in that unhurried beginning made the whole day softer and more true. Before I learned to rush, I knew the morning. Before the lists arrived and stole the hour. And something in that earlier and slower version had a particular and ungrasped power. I am relearning how to move without agenda, how to let the morning be itself before the day requires anything of anyone, before I take productivity off the shelf. And every unremarkable and slow beginning is its own complete and sufficient gift. was when I lived most in every ordinary overlooked detail. And I am finding my way back to that slower morning where the whole day waits behind a softer veil. The faces and the places rearrange themselves. The seasons turn without consulting anyone. And everything I thought was fixed and permanent is quietly becoming something else or gone. What stays when everything changes is the essential. The love that doesn't need the world to hold. And everything the years have taken with them left something more important to be told. Used to grip the changing with resistance, convinced that holding on could slow the tide. But everything that left made room for something that only comes when you release and let it guide. What stays is not the furniture or the faces, not the particular version of the street. What stays is how the love felt in the middle, and that is quite enough and quite complete. When everything changes is what matters. The warmth inside the ordinary day. And I have learned to trust the things that stay, because they are the things that always stay. At the end of everything, the long exhale arrives, the one that all the held breath has been building. And something in the releasing feels like landing, like the final piece of something finally filling. The long exhale is what the moment when the effort meets its rest, and everything that asked for more than I had ready reveals itself as something I could best. I used to think that resting was a forfeit, that stopping meant the work had won the day. But the long exhale is where the clarity lies, and everything confused becomes okay. I still arrive at the long exhale with gratitude for every difficult and necessary mile, because the long exhale at the end of everything makes every challenging part